Most men and young male students are often confused as to why women, girls, seem to overreact to lewd behavior, calling it harassment, when all the men are doing is expressing themselves, which could also be seen as the target being worthy of attention. In my role as an older woman, practicing psychotherapist and classroom facilitator, I take these sentiments seriously and try my best not to be judgmental. I try to process both the male and female perspective as clearly, simply, and articulately as possible. Hello and welcome to Navigate with Kalpana. When women are annoyed and angry, some men tend to cringe away, finding us terrifying creatures. They are afraid of our displeasure, yet a few find this, possibly the only attention available to them, perversely thrilling. These are damaged men who need help. That is one way of viewing this antisocial behavior. A group of young students, 17 to 19 years, together watched the movie Pink. This was followed by intense classroom discussions and written reflections. One young man wrote that he had no idea that women are so badly affected by voyeuristic male attention, even though it is from a distance and there is no likelihood of physical contact or threat. I was shocked and surprised by his transparent sentiment and have since made an effort to share and address it. Men spooking women, especially young girls, is something I often hear from young colleagues and students. They talk of strange men whipping out their cell phones in very public places to photograph them. Others talk of men flashing their genitals at them. Some students talked of a young man in a nice car politely asking for directions. When he handed over his cell phone, they noticed nude pictures rather than the map they expected to see. Yet others mention men masturbating while looking at them in public places. Passing lewd comments is an everyday exercise. In all these incidences, there is no contact. I use the word spooking because the threat can be felt even if others can't see it. The feeling is almost intuitive and instinctive and may not have proof in reality. The unseenness of the spook makes it all the scarier and can terrify the person who begins to doubt themselves, especially when others dismiss the threat or in turn accuse them of being paranoid. Which brings me to the next question. Why are women so angry? Why indeed? I too have asked this question. Why not let it pass and not be victims? I see this as power dynamics, the ability to scare someone just by showing an intention, spooking them, gives the aggressor a tremendous feeling of power. The fact that the victim does indeed react, at least in part as the aggressor intended, has made his mission successful. I want to believe that it is up to us, in that we allow and give permission for someone to put us down, make us uncomfortable, oppress us, and that if we had a different attitude and were able to push back, we would not feel so imposed upon, not be willing victims. The classic triangle of aggressor, victim, and rescuer will now play out. As victims, we need to be rescued, usually by another man. This again implies we need to give away our power and frustrates us that we are unable to manage these situations as women. Men cannot, and I would like to believe do not, get away with misbehaving in public places. They hide or shield themselves and then expose themselves only when they feel safe, unseen by others, not intended to be the victim. The expected reaction of outrage and fear and the hasty retreat of the women, possibly in tears, is what they are looking for. This is the thrill they seek, and it makes them feel powerful, thus indicating that he is not powerful at other times. He is weak, has low self-esteem, is unable to have meaningful social and sexual relationships, and is a victim of his own psyche, health, and well-being. Instead of feeling shame, shocked, guilt, a need and desire to disappear, and wish that one never had to deal with such shaming incidents, I have always felt that just understanding the psyche of the offender as someone weak, disturbed, would put us women in a position of power, and by failing to react meekly, we would end the old game plan and create a new equation. Then one day it happened to me. Watch Navigate with Kalpana and see what I make of the Me Too movement.